Right then, I've been asked this question so many times since I posted the very first part of this project heat pump video series. How much will it cost? Or how much did it cost? Well, let's spend a few minutes and go through all of the numbers. So this adventure goes all the way back to April 2023. Please go and check out the other videos in my Project Heat Pump series to see what was installed. I'll stick a link to the playlist in the description. Now, if you want to qualify for any government funding and grants for a heat pump, then you need to make sure you've got an EPC. That's an Energy Performance Certificate for your house. I didn't have a valid one, it had expired, so I paid about £60 for someone to come out and inspect my home and give me a valid EPC. I'm not going to count the cost of that in the total though. The next thing I did was contact Octopus Energy. They used the information from that EPC about my home to provide me with a fixed quote. They quoted me £11,200. Now at the time, the government grant was £5,000, which meant I would have to have paid a balance of £6,200 to Octopus Energy on completion. But actually, due to the length of time it took to get everything in place, the government increased that grant to £7,500. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet so far. That's actually only £3,700 I need to pay them. Now, you may recall that I pestered for upgrades to a few radiators for our bedrooms because I didn't have as much confidence in their calculations as they did. Well, that set me back an additional £157.87. And then before the install could get started, I needed planning permission. Now, of course, in the end, we decided to move the heat pump to a different location, which meant that it fell within the permitted development rules. But before we made that decision, we did spend a few months trying to get approval to have it installed in a position that would have made things a bit easier. That cost me £230 for the planning application, and as a part of that I needed to submit a location plan, which was an additional £13.20. Sadly, that was all wasted money and time in the end, which is a shame, but the installation delay it caused actually meant I got the £7,500 grant instead of the £5,000 grant, so it all worked out nicely in the end. Something else you need to consider when getting a heat pump installed is collateral damage. So what else needs to be replaced or repaired because of the installation? Well, that could mean plastering and painting, but in my case it meant changing the shower. Our old shower had a pump and a digital controller. I really liked that shower and it wasn't that old, so I decided to go and buy the exact same model, which is a Myra Activate. But I also got the version that's suitable for mains pressure water instead, so it didn't have a pump built into it. That was quite expensive and cost me £583.27. I also purchased an energy monitor to keep an eye on the power and energy usage of the heat pump, and that set me back £83.94. Things are getting expensive then. The costs to me are now over £4,700. But then Daikin decided to offer installers a £250 incentive, and Octopus Energy decided to pass that on to their customers. So I got another £250 discount from my bill, bringing the total cost down to £4,518.28. So how did I pay for all this then? Well, the truth is I got a loan. I don't like owing money and taking out finance agreements, and I only do it for very select circumstances. So I have a mortgage and I have a loan for our car. Normally I wouldn't consider a loan for home improvements because I think that sort of thing should be saved up for and only done when I can afford it. However, there are two significant reasons why I took out a loan for this. The first reason is my boiler was about to go pop any day. I don't know if you heard the noise level test I did in one of my other videos, but it didn't sound healthy at all. I needed to replace it, or I was about to face a winter with a broken boiler, and then I'd have to find the money to replace it quickly, which would probably have involved borrowing money in a loan of some sort. The second reason is that Nationwide Building Society offer 0% loans for green home improvements. It's called green additional borrowing, and if you have a mortgage with them already, like I do, then you may be eligible for it. It's a bolt-on to your mortgage, which means you have to jump through quite a few hoops to get it, including having a meeting with a mortgage advisor and lots of paperwork. But I personally thought it was worth it for a 0% interest rate. So I got the loan over 5 years, and the most crazy thing about it is that if I decided I want to pay it off early, I'd have to pay an early repayment charge. So they're like, here's some money, no charge to you, just pay me back what I gave you, but if you give it me back too early, I'll charge you for it. That makes no sense to me at all, but I'm not complaining. Anyway, because planning permission took so long to do its thing, the loan money was just sat there in my savings account waiting. I estimate that I earned about £112 in interest during that period, so I've deducted that from the total pot. It seems only fair to include that in the calculations. And then there is one final line item to add to this table. When the new heating system went in, I gave the installers a cardboard box and asked them if they removed something that looked expensive to put it in the box instead of throwing it out. So I saved all of my old Evo Home smart heating components, my old shower, the My Energy kit that I didn't need anymore, and I sold them. I still have a few bits and bobs left over to sell, but right now, at the time of putting together this video, I've earned back £727.71. That takes my total expenditure on the installation of an air source heat pump to replace my boiler at £3,678.57. I think you'll probably agree that's not a bad cost really. I could have got a cheaper shower I suppose and saved a few £100 there too, but I really like that shower and I'll probably show that off in a future video. Anyway, I hope this has been useful for you. I used Octopus Energy for my installation, and if you use them then please tell them you were referred by me, because I think there's a small incentive or discount for both of us. I'll dig out the details and put that in the description. You don't need to be with them for your energy, but if you do want to switch your supplies to them, please use my referral code, which is on the screen right now, and we both get £50 of credit. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel to see more from me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.